when you go into a new environment or a new school, the entire set of culture and all of the rules of how do things actually work, they change depending on the setting. So even if you're in the same type of school, in the same district, just because of the different people that are involved, there's going to be a whole bunch of unspoken rules that you don't know yet. And that makes it really hard to be able to integrate. And that's why, for humans, change is really scary.
How are you doing, Elle?
You're all right. I was listening to that. Thank you, Mum.
Well, I've noticed you haven't made many friends in your form group. I can't imagine it's easy moving schools in the middle of year 11.
I would have rather if this teacher did not say this out in the open, and in this scene no one's really paying attention, but I would find it really embarrassing and hurtful if someone right away says, well, I noticed that no one likes you, you haven't made friends with anyone yet. I wouldn't want anyone else to know. I would find that mortifying. I would want to crawl into myself and wither away. So usually if you're going to ask someone a question about something that may be very personal to them, or if they have social anxiety they might feel really worried about, it is much better if you do this alone, where no one else might overhear and make you feel bad, or even worse, pity you.
I could assign Tara Jones to look after you.
No, I'm fine. I promise, I don't want to bother anyone.
Often we worry that if we're entering a new situation that we are imposing upon someone else, or they're going to be kind to us just because they feel bad for us. That feeling is really ingrained in our psyche, and I think a lot of us, even when we become adults, still worry that people are only going to be nice to us, or that we're going to be bothering other people, and so because of that, we don't go up to people and maybe talk or ask them or do those icebreakers of being able to reach out to make friends. It's often this negative record that's playing in our heads that stop us.
It's half term next week. How about you promise me you'll try to make at least one new friend before then?
Okay, maybe.
I do love, though, that this teacher has reached out to Elle and cares enough and understands that it's really important to have a friend group, to have a tribe, to have at least one person to be able to rely on. Being alone is really hard, and some people are able to do this with great strength and poise, but especially during your teenage years, that's the time when your peer group is more important even than your family. And I love that Elle is able to look around her and be able to see the type of people that she would enjoy getting along with. I think that that's really important, to know the type of people that you would like as friends. So often when you enter a new situation, you want to take a look around and say, who would be good people to be able to be friends with? And you want to be able to look at people and actually notice the character traits that match well with you, the type that make you feel good and you enjoy, and also know those personality traits that might make you feel upset or worried or make you spin. There's certain people that we match better with than others, and that's okay, but you want to recognize it. It's not the first person that comes near you, and let's be honest, if someone's going to be mean to you, it's often better to be on your own, because that emotional damage can be really painful.
Elle, you dropped your pencil case.
Oh, thanks, Tara.
Do you want to meet up with us for lunch today?
Did Miss Greenwood tell you to try and make friends with me?
No.
I love Tara's energy, that she goes right up to Elle. She knows that she's alone, and there's some people that are just those people that see someone and they know that they can bring them in, and they don't want to see someone else that doesn't have anyone else to hang out with. And when you've been alone and that first person that comes up to you means the world to you. It's such a good feeling, even if you're not ready or you're shy, to just know that someone else reached out, and if you want, you have somewhere to go. And it's really cool. Like, Elle is able to have that strength to be able to directly ask, like, were you asked to be my friend? Often we will just kind of keep that as our inner voice, like, oh, I wonder if they were asked to be my friend, but we don't have that strength to be able to directly ask someone. She might have second thoughts about joining their friend group if the only reason that they want to make friends with her is because they feel sorry for her. Often if we think that someone's doing this not because they genuinely care about us as with our character traits, we don't want this feeling of charity that we're someone that we have to be looked down on and be given something. And so, especially people that have a very strong type A set of traits will just say, you know what, I would rather be alone than to be looked down upon, because that hurts our ego so much more. love, you know that feeling of when you go into a room and you're like, where in the world am I gonna sit? And people call you over and say, hey, come over here, we have a space for you. That feeling of being welcomed in and you have a spot waiting for you, it's so comforting. Feels like you're now welcomed and you have a place in the tribe. And the cool part about group dynamics is that if you sit in a certain set of seats, it ends up becoming your seat. If you're always the person that sits next to someone else, people will often move around to give you that spot. It kind of becomes yours. And if someone else sits in it, you'll kind of be like, you're in my chair. It's a territorial thing.
Tara said you had no friends. I didn't say that. Monster much?
I love Darcy because Darcy kind of doesn't really have that inner monologue. She just says stuff. The cool part though is when someone just shares things and they may say things that you don't really want to hear, but you know that they're not just thinking something different than what they're sharing. So you always know where you stand with them. She's just this genuine person. What you see is what you get and you don't have to worry about expecting something different. Darcy makes this offer of food with her hands and I love Elle because when someone offers you something, yes, that's that first offering. You have to pretty much say yes. Hopefully it's not something that you really don't want to have because it makes for an awkward moment where you have to refuse a gift. But by accepting the gift, you're accepting a part of them. And so that's why gift giving, even with different tribes, they often started with giving other people gifts, which creates that feeling of dopamine and oxytocin, which makes us feel safe and warm and accepted.
This room was just hell for me, so...
Have you been finding it any better here?
Yeah, it's a lot less stressful, apart from the whole having no friends issue.
Elle's able to specifically say her fears of being alone and not having any friends. And once you share it and it's out in the open, then you don't have to worry about it being brought up again. It becomes now part of the tribe. And when someone else that's caring hears about something that bothers or worries you, they'll actually protect you from it and make sure that these things don't happen. And that's why if someone hurts your feelings, it's often a good thing if they're safe and trustworthy to be able to let them know that you don't like this. What you're doing is you're teaching people how to treat you and what are the things that you like and you don't like.
Some of my friends said that they were going.
Friends from Pigs?
Yeah.
You made some friends?
Yeah, you jealous?
No.
Wait till we do Tao and his issues with abandonment.
I was really scared no one would like me, so I didn't even try talking to people at first.
And that's what happens when you've been intensely bullied and rejected. Often we decide to go inside ourselves, and it's too hurtful to take that risk of trying and then getting hurt again, because in that attempt to be liked and make friends, you have hope. And what happens if you get rejected is all of that hope gets crushed. So often we decide that it's easier just not to try at all. But the problem is that if you withdraw from people, people will often interpret that as you don't actually want to engage with people, and because of that, they'll leave you alone. So it ends up often becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy.
But then I realized I actually needed to put myself out there or I'd just be alone.
Whew. And to be able to have such wisdom, it's so true. So you have to take that risk of walking on that shaky bridge and try it out, even if sometimes you will fail. And I think that you should go in that with a knowledge of who are the people that you should try to make friends with and what are the personality types that will be less risky. But I love that Elle could do that in such an open way and share this wonderful knowledge with Tao.
So I think I'm going to be okay there. That's a good change, right?
Yeah. It's a good change.
And that's that wonderful part, is that once it works and you do make friends, you have this feeling of I'm accepted, and it makes everything else so much easier. And that's why even if you're scared, even if you have anxiety towards something, often the way to deal with it is to go towards the danger, because the more that you withdraw, the more you're going to want to withdraw. The more that you avoid something and give in to your fear and anxiety, the more you're going to want to do that. Remember, neurons that fire together wired together. And so you want to become counterphobic, to practice going towards the things that are good for you, though you're scared of them anyways. Surviving high school is tough, and if you want to make sure that you're prepared for surviving those tough situations in your life, you should check out today's sponsor, Brilliant, where you can gain an understanding of the basics of computer science, physics, quantum mechanics, game theory, and everything that you need to be prepared to bring out the strongest, brightest you. Brilliant is the online interactive STEM learning platform with a growing catalog of courses specifically crafted to help you learn concepts by working with them by yourself in visual, hands-on ways. And these lessons are presented in little tiny bite-sized pieces, so you can learn at your own pace. There's no pressure. And if you ever feel stuck, Brilliant has an in-depth explanation and breakdowns of all the materials to help you even more. Like their algorithm neural network and machine learning courses, they help you shift blocks of pseudocode around and you receive this immediate feedback, which helps you get results. It's like you're solving puzzles or games, and the whole time you're learning how artificial intelligence really works. To get started for free, just visit brilliant.org/Georgia Dow or click on the link in the description. The first 200 people get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. So just click on the button on the screen or go to brilliant.org/Georgia Dow. Clicking on the button really does help this channel, and so does clicking on the playlist above for more videos. Hopefully you liked this video on Heartstopper, and if you did, please share it so that other people will get to know my channel and help it grow. It means so much to me, and hopefully you'll join me for the next video.